What if I told you some of the best supplements for lifting weren't even meant for lifters? Supplements marketed towards lifters majority of the time are trying to scam you and use bold claims derived from basically nothing to appeal to the monkey brain, with half of them not even functioning or providing any change, while other supplements that don't have that same incentive to promise incredible results suffer less from these issues. I mean, vitamin D is vitamin D, you get what you get. Obviously, you don't need any supplements to get jacked. Hopefully nobody else has told you that you do, but if you have the lifting basics dialed in, sleep, macros, and hard training, these 7 supplements will 100% help you, one of which giving up to a 33% increase of extra muscle growth in pounds per year. That's insane. I'll start by outlining all 7 supplements, going into their pros and cons, plus supplement brands I recommend. Then I will cover 7 supplements you should probably stay away from, plus other additional advice. I'll give you a spoiler, one of the deadly ones is creatine, so let's get into it. So the first heavenly supplement is testosterone. Nah, I'm joking. Before I say anything else, I'm not a medical professional, I'm just a gym bro. Please consult a specialist before taking any supplement you're not sure about. Even though I would say these supplements are 99.9% safe at their proper dose, there is that tiny 0.1% chance that the supplement might blow up your house and give you liver failure or something like that. Now on to the supplements themselves. First up, creatine monohydrate. Hey, didn't you say that creatine was one of the deadly supplements? Yes, but it's also a heavenly supplement. Just wait and hear me out. Creatine is, in my opinion, the best lifting supplement, giving noticeable increases in performance and recovery, allowing up to an extra 2 to 3 pounds of muscle build per year. And it's cheap too. A 33% boost is sick, but hold up. In order to even benefit from this, you already have to have your lifting locked in. Creatine in itself won't directly cause any extra muscle growth, but create a better environment for you to do so, and that's going to be pretty common among all of these supplements. Now that you know that, how does it even work? Creatine is a source of energy for muscle contraction, specifically during high-intensity short-duration activities, such as lifting. It's the fastest available source of energy, but also the one your body has the least amount of. Your body produces creatine naturally already, and you also get creatine from red meats, but you'd have to eat a lot of red meat for it to be comparable to supplementation. So by supplementing with creatine, you essentially get more gas in the gas tank, giving you the ability to train and recover harder. How much creatine should I take? 5 to 10 grams daily is recommended, but you can go lower than this if you're a much smaller individual with less muscle mass. To notice any benefits, the creatine has to fully saturate in your muscles, which takes around 4 weeks of daily supplementation to complete. This is known as the loading phase. During that time, it also pulls water into your muscles, making them look bigger, and also adds 2 to 4 pounds of water weight. You can speed up this loading phase by adding 20 grams of creatine daily for a week. This will allow you to complete the loading phase in only a week, then continue as normal with the regular dose from there. Should you even do this? The 3-week save doesn't really make much of a difference. Some people experience stomach aches and many trips to the bathroom. It doesn't really save any creatine either, so if you want to do it, be my guest, but it's not necessary. Is creatine safe? Creatine is safe to take for basically all healthy people. However, be cautious if you're pregnant, have diabetes, kidney disease, liver disease, or even bipolar disorder. You should also be drinking more water to account for the increased water retention in your muscles. Is it safe for teenagers? There are a lot less studies on teens, but the consensus is that teens should be safe. Just make sure to check with your doctor. Doesn't it cause hair loss? No, that was a myth propagated from a misinterpreted study. Doesn't it destroy your liver? I would consult with a nephrologist first and ensure you aren't suffering from liver disease already. Creatine when used will convert into creatinine and have to be filtered out by the kidneys, so already having a lower filtration rate because of a disease may not be very cash money. However, the main myth here is that creatine lowers your filtration rate and harms kidney function. It doesn't. Essentially, higher creatinine levels are a marker for estimating kidney health, so with increased creatinine levels, you can hit a false positive where your kidney health is estimated to be worse, but just higher creatinine levels alone don't actually mean anything. I would instead get your cystatin C levels checked out instead for better accuracy. When should I take it? It doesn't really matter. If you want a potential slight edge, post-workout would make the most sense. If you have a post-workout shake, I would 100% recommend putting it in there so it's easy to remember. If you don't want to deal with all that though, like the shitty tasting powder, you can also get it in gummy form. One of my biggest problems with powdered supplements, besides the shit taste, taste was also that I just straight up forgot to take them, like a dumb idiot. These creatine gummies from Tasty Gains fixed that shit entirely. I've recently started taking them, and they've been insanely convenient. It's basically like the Flintstones multivitamin gummies we took as kids. Easy to use, huge boost in gains, similar price to the other forms of creatine, and they are third-party lab tested. One of creatine's biggest issues has been quality control, so if you're in the need of a simple creatine supplement that won't give you diseases, this shit is for you. Link in the description to try out Tasty Gains. They're vegan, gluten-free, and also made in the US. Next up. Caffeine is basically a no-brainer for most since it's already the most consumed psychoactive drug in the world. Caffeine can offer great performance-enhancing benefits in terms of allowing harder contractions and suppressing fatigue, especially for those who are sleep-deprived. A lot of people need caffeine just to function and even work out, which is where my distaste for it comes from. It's easy to get stuck in a trap of over-reliance on caffeine, so make sure you're taking everything else in your life that could naturally boost your energy levels, like your health and sleep, seriously. How much caffeine should I take? Up to 400 to 500 milligrams is recommended. One issue is that people will build a tolerance to it. To combat this, I recommend taking this supplement only on days you work out. Where do I get my caffeine? Black coffee works. There's also caffeine pills and caffeine gum. Many options. I would take it as a pre-workout if you can, rather than straight after you wake up. Next up. D3 is another no-brainer supplement. Most of us are deficient unless you consistently run outside butt-ass naked in the middle of the day while the sun's out for an hour straight, or if you work outside like in construction. Getting adequate D3 also gets harder depending on where you live, how old you are, and how dark your skin is, with darker skin and older age making it harder to get vitamin D. Most of you know the benefits: improve bone health and immune function, but you also get increased testosterone and muscle protein synthesis. Yes, there is a difference between taking either vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is considered more effective for raising and maintaining vitamin D levels. D3 is produced in the skin naturally from sun exposure and is also found in animal foods like eggs. D2 comes from mushrooms and is also added into dairy products. How much vitamin D should I take? Generally, 1,000 to 3,000 IUs daily is a good starting point. Some people use up to 5,000 plus IUs without issue. I've heard of supplementing D3 with K2. Not necessary, but definitely beneficial. Vitamin D3 helps you absorb more calcium, while vitamin K2 helps your body transport it. I would recommend getting the MK7 version of K2 as it makes for a more convenient supplement. I recommend for every 10,000 IU of D3 you take, you would take 100 milligrams of K2. Next up. Cod oil is just a dietary source of omega-3 fatty acids, which we usually don't get enough of. Everybody has a certain ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s in their body, ideally between 1:1 and 1:4. However, given modern diets, especially in the West, these ratios have gone as bad as 1:15, 1:20 even. This can lead to issues like chronic inflammation, so supplementing with omega-3s is definitely very helpful. The effects on muscle gain are not conclusive, but it's been shown to improve muscle recovery/soreness, allowing you to get back to shit sooner after a workout. How much cod liver oil should I take? The general recommendation dose is 1 to 2 teaspoons daily. Some people go up to 1 tablespoon. Why cod liver oil and not fish oil? You can definitely take fish oil, however be wary that many of the supplements including big brands contain rancid fish oil, which can cause negative chemical reactions in your body. Most people don't report that fish oil has ruined their entire life, however I think your money is better spent just buying some canned cod liver. Usually it's canned in its own oil. Krill oil also works. Next up. There is nothing special about protein powder, it's just protein, so its effects only extend to helping you reach your protein goal if you struggle to, and that is it, which it does an amazing job of. Very convenient, especially when cutting. Here's a quick tip for you. If you're cutting and need a quick shot of protein, hold a gulp of water in your mouth, then just simply pour a half to full scoop of protein powder into the water. It sounds absolutely atrocious, but upon trying, you'll realize it just turns into a quick to eat fudge with the flavor of your protein powder. It can be a straight free 25 grams of protein for the minimum calorie cost of 100 calories. Though if you're bulking, try to hit your macro targets from your diet first and foremost. It should be very easy to do if you're consistently eating many clean animal sources of food, which I already recommend most people do. Is there a limit on protein powder? No, you can take as many scoops as you want to your heart's desire, but I like to keep it to 1 to 2 scoops a day for the reasons I mentioned before. Next up. Dietary magnesium is needed by muscles to contract, nerves need it to send and receive messages, also improving immune function. Sounds great, right? But it's less necessary given that magnesium deficiency is actually pretty rare among healthy individuals. Unlike how common it would be among something like vitamin D3, you can get enough by eating foods like greens, whole grains, beans, nuts, and fish. I recommend taking either magnesium glycinate or malate for the enhanced sleep and muscular benefits respectively. How much magnesium should I take? It's generally recommended to take 250 to 300 milligrams daily of magnesium. I've heard of supplementing magnesium with zinc. Yeah, it's a solid combo as both have a synergy together, with magnesium helping regulate zinc levels and zinc improving magnesium absorption. It's pretty recommended to take around 9.5 milligrams of zinc daily along with magnesium. Next up, multivitamins can be a very convenient way to ensure you are meeting daily micronutrient intake. However, it does not serve much utility beyond that. The only other alternative is greens powders, but multivitamins are more consistent, usually containing a larger variety of micronutrients at proper clinical doses. How much should I take? Take the recommended serving size on the multivitamin you buy daily and ensure you're getting the clinical doses for each vitamin. That's basically it. Now how about the 7 deadly supplements?
I love.
This is gonna be concise because this video is already 10 heat deaths of the universe long. I know I just praised this for being the best supplement, and it still is, but given how hype of a supplement it is, there's a lot of scams out there. Many creatine companies promote their other versions of creatine with crazy claims that don't even have to be backed up. Creatine HCl, creatine ethyl ester, 1000 times the absorption, 200% boosted muscle gain compared to monohydrate, which in reality either have the same effect or an even worse effect for a higher price. If you want to stay safe, just buy the regular creatine monohydrate and ensure it's third-party lab tested. Another sad fact, 1 in 4 people naturally produce high levels of creatine, aka non-responders, so supplementing it for them may not be beneficial, but I would experiment with higher doses if that's where you land. Some people might just need 10 grams of creatine daily instead of 5. BCAAs. Research has shown that it can actually hinder muscle protein synthesis rather than improve it, as it only contains 3 amino acids, which when overdosed can block other amino acids from being utilized. EAAs outclass this by far as they contain far more essential amino acids. Testosterone boosters. If you want to boost your testosterone, there are many more supplements out there that aren't marketed as test boosters. Like a lot of the supplements I talked about before and a lot of lifestyle habits that will provide much greater benefits. Pretty much all test boosters make little to no actual difference in what they claim anyways. Testosterone does nothing, horrific quality control, it was just a social media fad. End of story. Glutamine. Most of the supplement orally taken doesn't even make it into your muscles. It mainly just gets converted into glucose. You probably already get enough glutamine from your protein sources anyways. Mass gainers. The sole purpose of this is to allow you to consume a lot of calories very easily. However, 99% of the time, it's loaded with garbage nutrient void ingredients, which you'd be a lot better off getting from clean sources. You don't need a mass gainer to jack up calories anyways. You can make your own mass gainer shakes using clean ingredients that you can control. For example, natural peanut butter and whole milk. Lastly, greens powders. These supplements generated a lot of hype a bit ago due to their marketing and promotion. However, taking a closer look at them revealed that they usually are nothing more than just an underdosed, very expensive multivitamin. Many of these powders will use unregulated buzzwords like superfood and also use what are known as proprietary blends to mask the amount of each ingredient within the blend under a total amount. This means there's a big possibility that many of these ingredients are underdosed, which would save them money, so why wouldn't they if they can hide behind a proprietary blend? The list goes on and there's much more to unpack with greens powders. Maybe they will see a redemption, but cutting costs wins out. You already know about Tasty Gains for their fire creatine gummies, but I also highly recommend buying from Transparent Labs, Optimum Nutrition, Nature Made, and Thorne. If you're looking to take vitamin D3 and K2, I'd recommend Dr. Eric Berg's version of that. Also ensure your supplements are third-party tested. When in doubt, just buy the cheapest third-party tested ones you can find. You can still get great results with them. You should also remember, supplements are a cherry on top. There's absolutely no supplement that can come even close to the effects of actually putting your effort in on your diet diet, sleep, and training. Especially your diet. Please don't get caught lacking having a shitty diet, eating shit like this, and then adding in a multivitamin to meet the micronutrient intake. Like bruh. My most recommended supplement stack if you're serious about this goes as follows: creatine, caffeine, vitamin D3, and protein powder. Hope you found this helpful. If you want direct help where we can discuss a fully detailed, evolving training and nutrition plan, we can have a chat, man, with the first link in the description. The next video I recommend watching is my video on diet.